Welcome to Hauling Diecast. Well, so I'm going to make this video today that's really, I'm going to try to make it short, but I want to talk about a problem I've been running into that I got to get around. I had been cataloging all of our Hot Wheels and Matchbox and all the various other brands since I would think my son was born in 2012. I started collecting a lot of Hot Wheels around probably 2014. Anyway, I was cataloging all that stuff up till 2020. And I just stopped doing it. I got busy with other stuff and just, you get so far behind on it and it's like, I got to go back and get caught up. And other things get in the way, and you go back, you start catching up a little bit, and you get busy again. It's just, life gets in the way, and other things become more important. Either way, I find myself like 4 years behind now. And one of the things I was doing was this, I'm trying to remember what's called. I don't even, it's been so long since I've done it now, I can't remember what it's called. It was casting of the day, or casting of the week, or car of the day, something like that. And all it was I basically went and used my spreadsheet and kind of rolled the dice. So, hey, whatever number this lands on, that's the car I'm going to go pull up, and I'm going to do a review of that car. I don't know. It could be an old one. It could be a new one. It could be one that's all beat up. Who knows? But, and with that, I would try to do some, various details about it. Nothing, there's enough people out there doing a much better job than I am. But it was something that kept me kind of interested in the hobby, other than just buying Hot Wheels and stuff like that all the time. Sometimes I like to sometimes take a moment and just take a look back at what I have and enjoy that. And that seemed like a pretty interesting way to do it. And I'm a graphic designer by nature, so I like making the background, look like the card that it came on and all that stuff. That, or pose the car in the driveway with actual sunlight and try to make it look like it's life size. Anyway, I'm way behind on doing that. I want to get back to doing that, but the problem is my catalog only goes up to 2020. Well, I've bought a whole lot of stuff since then. Not as aggressive as I used to be. I used to buy everything, which I think is a natural progression for a lot of people. You buy a lot of stuff and you run out of room and you realize, I've got too much stuff here, I got to get rid of it. And then, or not really necessarily get rid of it, but kind of scale down and get a focus. So that's kind of where I was a few years ago. And then I would just pick up more of the, the nicer vehicles and whatnot. So I stopped cataloging them, but now I got to go back and start doing that. But it's tedious and it's going to take who knows how much time to do it. It's not like I can just go and grab the ones I bought, because I don't remember everything I bought. I bought old stuff, I bought new stuff, I bought stuff at toy shows. But I've kind of got an idea of how I might want to do it. But for now, I've scaled way back on what I used to have on display. I used to have these. Well, we got in the garage here. I'll show you. I used to have, if you've watched any of my other videos, I had all these 8-foot pieces of wood on the wall, and they were, going in the dark here. This wood. Oh, man, there's a cat on top of my Civic. Look at that. What are you doing? What are you doing, kitty? Huh? Yeah? Where's my Honda Civic go? 2008. Look at you. Yeah? Still got low miles on it. Well, I say low miles. Not low miles. It's fading off the top. But it's low miles for its year. It's like 165,000 miles, I think. Anyway, these long boards here, see these? They're like a perfect width of a Hot Wheel. And I just put nails in the wall and just set them on top of the nails. Well, I had those up and down every wall in the studio back then. And kept having to scale back. Eventually ran out of room. Well, back in the very beginning of the summer, I started to swap rooms with my daughter. So she is in the old studio, and if you look at the walls in here, you'll see Let me turn the light on here. Yeah. If you look at the walls here, you'll see all of these nail holes. See all those nail holes? So every time you see one, that was where another shelf was. Well, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could get about 32 cars on one of those. And you can see there was, on this wall, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. On this side, there were even more because they were closer together. I'm not going to count them all. But you can see there were a lot. A whole lot. It was all the way down there. Okay? And then they were on this wall too. So you do the math. How many boards there were? 60 to 70, maybe 80 of those. Not 80. I don't know. There was a lot. My point is, it was too much. I had to move all this stuff out of a room that's bigger than the room I went to. So I went to this front room here, which is smaller, has 2 windows, and I realized real quick, I don't have the room to put all this stuff on the wall again, so I'm not gonna do it. But what I decided to do, I was like, well, I still wanna display my stuff. So what I did was I made some different types of shelves. So here's what I made. I took those current boards here and I cut them down. They're about half the size they used to be. Okay? And then I went and got some thicker boards and I created a little stage kind of deal here. Okay? That's it. I used some leftover from the back, got me some L brackets, and I made myself. That way I didn't want to make tons of holes in my walls again. So now there's just a hole up there, one there, and one there. I believe that's it. Yeah, just a couple holes. These other ones are short screws just going into the wood. So less damage to my walls, and I can still get same number of cars on half the length here. Okay, so what I did was I built that one, and I want to keep them where they were not too high. So everything else above it is just random stuff. So we have a lot of Lego stuff up there, some bigger things. And then the other one is over there. That's it. That's all I have on display. So you can see I scaled way, way down. And I still got some things in packaging. I don't really know what to do. I don't know if I really want them. I got some rare things here. My only one treasure hunt. Anyway, and I've got this huge plastic bin out in the garage. I say huge. It's probably a normal thing you'd see if you go to a toy show. You've seen these things, right? They're pretty big. Big, giant black box with a yellow lid on it from Lowe's or Home Depot. And it's just full of cars. So what I try to do was I put every car in a bag and like a little baggie. And so if it's Camaros, I'll try to put all the Camaros together. If it's Mustangs, I'll put all Mustangs together. So if I have a whole lot of a certain type of, not necessarily a casting, but like I just said, like a Camaro or Corvette or Mustang, something where you have a lot of that model, those are good, getting their own bags. And then other ones where like I have a whole lot of the same casting, those get their own bag also. Each bag within a bag so things don't get scratched up. And then all the random stuff, so I got all the Toyotas. If I don't have, well, actually I have a lot of Toyotas, but let's just say BMWs. If I have BMWs, I don't have a lot of those. I just put all those in one bag. Again, each one's individually bagged. So they're all out there. But this spreadsheet I have has everything on it. So if I roll the dice, come across a car, if it's not on this shelf, I'm going to have to go out there in the garage. I'm going to have to go dig through and try to find that car. And man, that's going to be hard because I didn't have to do it before. I could just walk over the shelf and just pick it off the shelf and say, hey, there was this guy. I got this one and I got 2 other ones in that same casting. And I would just review them all at one time. Not going to be easy to do that. But again, the other thing too is I hadn't done this in 4 years. So There's lots of cars up here on these shelves that haven't been even added into my little list. And then there's a bunch out there in those tubs, man. So you imagine what's it going to be like to try to go back and catalog the last 4 years of stuff when they're, it's going to be a pain. I'll just say that. So I think I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. And maybe I'll do my casting of the week thing, or whatever it's called, casting. I'm not going to do it every day. So maybe once a week I'll do it. Maybe I'll just roll the dice and do the ones for what I currently have in my spreadsheet, and then just keep adding to my spreadsheet and try to get caught up. I'm thinking about doing a couple cars a day until I get caught back up, which may take me a long time. And I may lose interest in doing it altogether and say it's just too much of a time suck for me. I'm not going to do it. But anyway, since I'm in here, let's let you take a look at what I currently have on the shelf. So these are going to be the cars that I like the most in my collection. And I got them separated in a couple different categories. I got basic Hot Wheels on this shelf over here. And then I've got more classic Hot Wheels on the top shelf, top left. And then I got some other random castings that I just think are kind of cool, that are not necessarily like production cars. And then I have my adult collection over there. And I've already ran out of room. As you can see, I'm starting to have to find other places for Hot Wheels already. So I'm probably gonna have to build another one of these shelves, a half shelf, maybe put it there. But I don't want to completely take over all my walls with cars again. I'm trying to keep this half of the room over here clear because you can see I'm a musician and I want it to look more like a studio. So when I'm making music video kind of stuff, that it looks like a studio. It looks like a production area. I don't want to have Hot Wheels and Legos everywhere. However, if I flip around this other way, well, I need to work out. But if I turn around this way, it's actually like a hobby space, okay? That's supposed to be my display shelf if I ever get my act together and actually sort through that stuff. That was the other thing I added. My really, really big stuff's gonna go on the top. And this is all for model building stuff, which I'm very limited on time to mess with, but I do want to come back to this model building stuff one day. There's various models in different stages of completion. Big problem I have is I would get started on stuff and not finish. I do have a couple finished things, but after moving so many times, as you know, as a model builder, if you do that sort of thing, you move too often or move things around too much, they get broken. So, yeah. But my main focus is my music, followed by a few of my other hobbies. And obviously family comes before all of that stuff. So anyway, that's a little heads up. Let me show you a little bit of what my archiving looks like here. So I'm just going to flip around and show you my screen. So basically what I was doing a minute ago is I started from this top shelf here and I went through my Acuras, my, what else do we have in here? Acuras, Audi, Alpine, Audi, something, whatever. BMWs, Bugatti, Buick, and I get into Camaros. Well, I got tired last night and I said I'm not gonna start the Camaros because there's a lot of stuff. So I thought, all right, today, let's just grab these 4 Camaros here. And I just went over and said, well, what's a quick way to do this? My spreadsheet don't have any photos, so let me just go to where I save all of my stuff, and I typed in Camaro, and I just started from the top. And I just put those cars in front of me and started going down. So, all right, let's see if I recognize any of those cars. And I was going through and just doing that, right? And I was like, oh, there's that green one. So I know I have already cataloged that one. I don't have to go any further. And that's what I'm doing. If I don't find it in here, the next thing I have to do is go over to my spreadsheet over here. Hot Wheels. I got these broken down into the 2020s, which is where I stopped. Well, there's a 2020 entry that I made last night, but 2010s, that's everything in there. As you see, that little scroll bar is really small. There's a lot of stuff. So, yeah, that's 2020s, no, 2010s. And that's probably where the bulk of my collection is. But I've got a whole lot of stuff from the 2000s as well. Not near as long, though. 1990s and 1980s. As you can see, that's much shorter. Oh, by the way, off the side here, if I've made a video or if I've taken a photo of it, it should appear over here in my database. What do we have here? Hot Wheels from the 70s. I don't have many of those. Matchbox. I got lots of Matchbox cars, not tons of them. And then in here we have other Diecast brands, and I just got these broken down into, you know, you can see those. Oh, there's different ones in here. And I haven't gotten over here, but I got a wish list. And then a best of. These are the ones I like to go and just collect at some point. Anyway, but this is where I have to, if I can't find my cars visually over here, then I go back through here. If I don't find either one, then I know I've got to do a little review of it. My review is basically simple. I need to make an entry here, and then when I get done, I can either take a photo of it, or I can set up my little turntable here. I can set up my little turntable, throw me a background there, and do a short 30-second video of it doing one rotation. Now, that's just for my basic cataloging purposes, but I like to use those because I'll come back sometimes if I'm doing a bigger review, and I'll just go pull from my stock footage of video or photos for those vehicles. And what's great here is one of the great things about doing that is I can pull an image or video from all of those cars that are buried in that plastic tub out there in my garage. If I do the little car of the day, I can just go pull my video here. But I'm going to want to do more than that. I'm going to want to, like this, I'm going to want to go set it up in the driveway or stage it different ways, get different angles. So I'm probably not going to be able to avoid going out there and digging through stuff. But at least having the image and the turntable thing does help. Anyway. So anyway, that's a big dilemma. This video is much longer than I expected it to be. But yeah. If anybody watches this stuff at all, let me know if you go look around my channel, if you see any of those casting of the day type videos I've done in the past. Tell me if you like it or not, if you want me to keep doing that. I mean, because yeah, I have fun doing it, but obviously I like it when someone's, you know, getting something out of it too. So that's it. See you guys next time, and be good.